an antenna. And so I think the video just split. What I was saying is that I have one of these at home that's split right down the middle. Disintegrated completely to ash, about a 12-inch region right in the middle. I still have the top and bottom of it. Jamie Lee at A Plain Truth 2 still has the video where I found it in Spanish Fort Canyon, and it shows a laser-like intensity heat went right down the middle. And what happens here is they put these on the side of the trench, like this. There's the trench. They put this on the side of the trench. It flopped over on top of the wire, and the wire had a laser-like intensity heat that disintegrated the middle and left both ends relatively intact. Jamie Lee at A Plain Truth, don't underestimate the power of the dark fiber, uses a piece of my video in his understanding of the same concept. And the point is, the underground dark fiber that's not lit up, it's not hooked up to anything, it's just buried, works as an antenna. Just like apparently the phone cable, or at least it would appear so by the little tiny, by the sign that I picked up. I think any underground cable conducts this energy like a conduit, like an antenna. So I'm going to leave this one here, but it works well for a demonstration. Again, bada bing, bada boom. That is just the color I like my, can you hear my echo off the rocks? Isn't that cool? That's just the color I like my hot dogs, not my fence post. My hot dogs, hot dogs, hot dogs. But you can see how it's on the underside here. On the underside here. And it dissipates and it stops right there. Same thing here. It's almost like the energy is coming up the log and it dissipates. It goes here and then stops, and then here and then stops. That's the burn signature. It's greatest here, and it tapers off. And there's a stripe going down the front. So the energy comes up from the ground, but there's also the radiating band of ambient energy in the air. And they work together to make this combination. There's a small spot of the golden brown microwaved hot dog look, but most of it seems to be here and here on the front side of these posts and along the bottom side. But then you'll get occasional spots, and we'll be doing these on the telephone poles here in a minute. And you'll see how all the telephone poles here got roasted. Everywhere, hundreds of them. These are those same fence posts, the ones here that are burned on the underneath. Now it looks like there's a small rock slide here. And I'm not blaming the aerospace industry for that, but this post here has the same cooked color on the front, also along the edge where all these wires are hooked to, and no cook on the back. Only a little bit where it was jerked from the rock slide. But you see, this is the color the post starts out. Just like all the telephone poles we're going to look at, they started out looking like this, a fairly uniform color and pattern. They turn into anything but. You see this, where is it there? If I could get it in there without my shadow. What I'm trying to show you is this wave pattern. Try and get in there, here we go. Wave pattern right here at the burn. I'm going to show you some of the cross braces on these high-rise telephone poles that are burnt on the outside in such a way you'll know that what we're looking at here is the same exact burn, just a microwave light golden brown burn. I'm going to show you some more of these golden brown fence posts. And what I notice is that the rebar along the front, it looks like this one had rebar along the front, but someone may have removed it. It's much like the chain in Robert O'Tay's video where he says, I'm sick and tired of people saying things been vaporized. You can see the chain mark on the front has left a metal impression, the same exact shape as the chain, the same way that this rebar has left a burn line along the front of the post here where it slid to the side a little bit. You can see that's what's created this burn signature. Likewise with the rest of these. And if you look at Robert O'Tay's video, there is a chain wrapped around that large log at the front of his property, and it has a golden brown burn signature on the front of it, the same exact shape as the chain that left the imprint from the microwave radiation embedding the imprint of the chain into the log. The same way it imprinted the heat signature of the metal post into here, possibly from the backside. Maybe that's why this one's burnt on the front side, because it's got a post on that backside. Either way, this is definitely the ambient radiant energy from the solar plasma that Robert O'Tay spent his whole life studying, depicting, and displaying for his viewers on his YouTube channel until 3 months ago. And then suddenly he goes back to his property and says, I'm sick of hearing people say it's been vaporized. After the previous video, he says, there's my kayak. Look, my kayak got vaporized. Look, there's that giant RV right there, just vaporized. And then he comes back and says, this is the second time back to my property. Second time making a video coming back to my property, and my first priority is to tell everyone to shut up. Nothing was vaporized. Okay, Robert, we got you. 10-4, big buddy. You're out of the game. We get it. God bless your soul, and may your chains rest lightly upon you too. I'm not sure how well the folks is catching this. I should probably wait till the sun hits the other side of the sky. My point is, something happened to our friend Robert. That's my point. Anyway, I'll go find some more good stuff for us to look at. And by the way, those ones that we're looking at right there, right across the street, is the one that's missing in the middle. One of the 2 or 3 that we've already seen that are completely missing in the middle. You can see this one's burnt along the side really good. This one's burnt along the bottom. We'll just go help you get another couple shots at those before we get out of here. Because when you turn to the golden brown microwave stuff, it makes people think, nah, maybe you're just reaching now. When right across the street, you have this, you're not reaching for anything. You just happen to know what you're looking at. And you can see the more subtle signs. And that's why I'm trying to help everyone be able to see those more subtle signs by showing them the 2 in conjunction with one another. Here's one, there's the other. So when you see one, you know that the other is near. And even if it's not, you know that it's the same effect. We might have some good sunlight here in a second. Hold on. So this one has a pretty good burn signature there. It wraps clear up around the backside here. That's at about my waist. So you can see that one's really took a beating. Let's go look at this one again, just to refresh our memory. I mean, that deserves 2 looks, don't it? I don't know how the hell I'm gonna look at it from the wrong side. This is the second one though. The other one had a little bit of a base remaining. This one has no base remaining. The base remaining of this one is that little tiny stump right there in the middle of the cow poop. Right there. That's what's left of that post. I'd like to ask him if I could take this one, but it's not my property. Probably pushing it, just getting too close with the camera. I already had one guy give me a hassle. So anyway, that's what happened there, just like the other one down the road. Here, we got another good example here for you. Ooh, I don't think we've even looked at this one yet. Look how far out it chewed half of it gone. get you a good shot. Not sure how well this can work with the lighting. But there is a concaved, it basically took out half the post here at the bottom. Completely burned it out, just like the others. You just can't quite get in there with the focus and the lighting to see that it's just the same charred, burnt black. There we go, a little bit. Right down to the unburnt weeds. Yep, just like all the rest. So when you see that light brown color that I'm showing you, or when we're about to show you all these telephone poles, your mind's gonna play tricks on you. Say, well, maybe it's just the fire retardant oil, and maybe it was just a hot summer. It did hit 100 degrees couple times last summer, and maybe that's what makes all this oil boil right out of the poles, and the knots. The knots are gonna be black. All these knots, they don't start out blacker than the rest of the wood. They're the same color as the rest of the wood until you hit it with the electricity.